Okay, it's streaming to the alt YouTube channel. And I removed it. This new layout they put in is worse. They removed the ability to preview your video or automatically go to your video link on YouTube. Now you gotta find it manually. Okay, let me go find it manually. And it's on my alt channel, so I gotta switch channels. Ugh. They've really regressed the dashboard. Content. Live. Edit. Who knows, maybe they fixed the bug or doesn't set the category correctly. Nope, they didn't even fix that. So you still have to now go through extra processes to fix YouTube videos. Okay, fix that live stream. Switch back to my YouTube main channel. So live starting streams is no longer a 2-minute process, now it's 10 minutes. They added extra minutes of busy work because they changed their website to a worse layout. Awful. I can't wait till I have more powerful 2 PC setup and better internet so I can just get away from Restream and just locally encode 3 outgoing streams myself with appropriate settings, not rely on the man-in-the-middle third party. And now I know I'm still on the starting soon screen. I'm just doing these finalized preparations so I could get things in order. Okay. Now the bed's not made right now. I'm doing laundry. Didn't move that, right? Yeah. Oh, good. There you go, finally sent money. You're about a week late, but it's still before the first of the month, so bills will still be paid. Alright. I'll wait a little longer before I do any coding. So I'll start with profession nonsense because, yeah. I want to make sure I save the actual content for, you know, viewers. I still have the buff. Dang, there's already that many new orders? Still PvP stuff. I'm glad I bought all those patterns. They come up often. Okay, I need to just have a bag full of decorative lenses. They're used a lot. Bismuth bolts. Need a few of those. Quite a few, so I'm just going to craft all 34. Well, I appreciate your presence no matter what it's for. But, yeah, I gotta do my crafting chores. My daily patron orders. My weekly chores were mostly completed yesterday, so I shouldn't have any of those today. We have to buy some more ore. I have a miner, but I'm too lazy to mine. Not enough time in the world. I gotta get my crafting speed up. This takes a long time. Okay. Wait, I must have another lower quality ore. Okay. All better. Now let's restock my ore. Bismuth. Okay. Ore. By spelling it wrong. No, it just doesn't have ore in the name. I'm buying the 3-star. It's too expensive. 2 is about the same price as 1, so there's no reason to get 1. Okay, let's get about 500 more. Okay, inventory replenished. Oh. Not quite. Lens. Keep needing these, so I'm just going to buy 10. Okay, start this order. All right. Now the same order again for someone else. Rifle. Don't care, it's not a skill up. That's 30. Yeah, I want that one. Potion of speed. I'm not gonna bother. Not for 10. This looks good. They got the important materials. Just need a couple more enhancers. Okay. That covers that. Now my blacksmithing chores. There's my spark. There's my spark. Light it up. Search for orders. This one... No, it's just an augment rune. Do you really want me to use my own sanctified alloy? You can fuck right off with that. I don't know why they still haven't fixed blacksmithing work orders yet. To be affordable. They're the only ones that are still this bad. This one is good. They wanted me to use my own sanctified. Not gonna happen. This one. This one's good. Okay, this one also good. Yeah, it's cheap, so I'll do it. It's only for 10, but cost is super low. Okay, everything that's reasonable has been done. That one's reasonable, but it just doesn't matter. I'm only targeting the ones that give me currency or skills. My bags are brutal. Okay. Do all the skill ups. And turn the weekly in. Then that is done.
How may I aid you?
Okay, what was I doing with this anyway? I was pretty much going for Jack of all trades, Master of none, at least for now. I want to be able to craft every item before I master any specific item. Continue down the weaponsmith path. Long blades, because I might actually use those myself one day. Okay. Engineering doesn't matter. I was again just going for a master of all, so I can fulfill more crafting orders. 15 there, so I can learn both of these. Okay, next would be here. Tinkers, yes. All right, very good. Now I could use some of my stockpiled things. Easy. More work orders possible. I need to do something about these bags. I've used a different map now that doesn't have a vendor.
I have many lucky doos you like.
Yeah, soulbound. Check first. That is. This one's just undertuned. I'm keeping it in hope that they fix it one day. That's vendor trash. That's vendor trash. Same with that and that. That and that. Swans waste bag space.
Many farewells.
Okay. Uncap my Valor Stone so I can earn more. Should have done that earlier in the week. I forgot. Earned nothing from the raid. Let's see here. Where was my video comments going? Should probably do it from the dashboard instead. No, maybe not there. Just uploaded a video about Blizzard's blue post. Good reach, low engagement. People are clicking off the video pretty quickly. Alright. What dungeon I was going to do next? Probably Siege of Borealis. I just finished Grim Batol in the last stream. And open it briefly because I gotta get some templates out of there. I'm gonna finish with, or do Siege next because then the only two left are both in the same expansion category. Shadowlands. Alright. FIFA. First things first, we need to register zone combat for this ID. Move down here. Add this handler right off the bat. Then this one. Then let Copilot write the rest of it. Okay. But the timers have to be filled in by me, but Copilot can generally write it because it's learned the pattern by now. It uses the unit diet event to write this one. Well, something's actually off with it. Never mind. This isn't a cooldown. Dang, Copilot's actually pretty smart. It knew not to include this one or this one. Only include ones that ended in CD. It'll get this right, but it'll get something as simple as this. If I go like, let's see here. Every timer object is a cooldown or a nameplate timer. If I go like this, it'll be like timer, some ability. Oh, never mind, it's proving me wrong. It's actually knowing when our object type now. Maybe they finally fixed that bug. It would fail to recognize certain patterns and still suggest the wrong object. Okay, I need one more thing from this mod. This part of the expression. Okay. Let's prepare the Warcraft log parsing. Dungeons. Siege. Okay. Peaceful level, at least a 10. This one has 3 sieges in it. Very good. I can use that log very well. That log is not even a 10. And the poles are short. No. I explicitly said give me 10s. Two 10s in this log. I like it. That should be more than enough data. That's 2, 5, and 6 logs. Let's pull an expression now. Okay, something else here. And type equals begin cast. Type equals cast. Or stop ability. There. Not produce the results I'm looking for. Hey, look, Azurite charge. Hold on, still 5.8. Which I still have, I'm sure. Azurite charge, 5.7, yeah. Wasn't going to start with that ability, but might as well since I have it up. Flashbang Commander, that's the target. I don't know. I've never tried. Okay, let's see here. First Azurite charge, 3.5, 4.1, 3.2. Well, this query is good enough. I trust these timers more. I think these are body pulls, which means I won't have the first timestamp accurately. I'm going to start with 3.2. Full string shout. Wait, I'm stupid. Oh, no. Undo that query. Put the spell ID in the wrong place. That's the spell ID, not the creature ID. There we are. 10.8, 10.2, 9.3. I like it. All right. One down. A few more to go. Let's go back up here. Lava knocker. This spell ID. 8.4. 16.1. 5.8. It's not looking promising with any of those. This log was multiple. No, this is the log that was one dungeon. Let's try this log with at least three different pulls. Siege of Borealis. All of them. Okay. Let's see. 8.8, 15.1, 16.3. Still some iffiness here. But these might be ones that are body pulled often, so it's hard to get an accurate timestamp for the first true pull time. But here. 10.3. Death in the K being the first event, though, means it's probably body pulled, and then they walked into the Death in the K. Well, these are more consistent. 10.3, 9.2, 10.0. A little bit more promising of real events. This first event is immediately, which means this shouldn't be trusted. Because you're probably in combat with the mob for 2 or 3 seconds before they hit it with their melee attack. I need pulls like Heroic Throw, Fairy Fire, things like that, which tell me it's an instantaneous combat event. I'm yawning a lot. I'm not super tired yet. My body's tired, but not in the sleepy sense. This one also has to be flagged to show all pulls. It's only 2, but... Swings. Judgment. I really can't get good data on this timer because the way most of these tanks are pulling the bosses don't signify the instant moment the mob's entering combat. Possibly. I have improved the tooling of both transcriptor and DBM to maybe make transcriptor logs useful for this specific purpose, but I haven't seen if those results have actually come to fruition yet. I don't like these sample logs I have. I need someone to have a prot warrior or someone who's actually pulling the boss without not using their body. Body pulls do not create accurate timestamps for initial combat. So this is more like this as a prot warrior. It's also got an impatient warlock. Why is the first event attacking this mob rain fire? I just don't think I can make a timer for Slobberknocker. Not an initial one. The recast time we know. Can't do a timer yet. I don't think it's different every time the mob is engaged so much as the way they're engaging the mob is creating an inconsistent timestamp. of when it was engaged, because it doesn't log when you enter combat with the mob. It logs the first event from or against the mob. So you could be in combat with them for 3 or 4 seconds before you actually hit them. And the build already has a cooldown. It's built in already. I'm just trying to get initial cooldowns for when on engage, but you could go in there and just kind of pull it the right way to try to get the initial time. But you still need a large sample set of data. You need to do it multiple times to get enough data to substantiate the cooldown. If it's one. Sometimes their abilities are reactionary. I did see that 10 number very many times on one of the logs, like this one. We're almost all 9 to 10, which means this might have been the one that had the most consistent pulling strategy. Well, that could be it too. If they're on lockout from other schools, they'd use this sooner, but I'm gonna put a note in there that it might be 10. Not there. Here. Might be 10-ish. Wait for improved logs. Now let's move on to the next ability. We'll use this log because they have 3 different runs. Okay. That's spell ID. Come on, load the menu. Where is it? For fuck's sake, Warcraft logs. Reload the page. Give me the... Well, the menu's broken, so I can't pull it up. Can't get the creature ID to make sure I don't have it wrong. This is the first time this menu's been broken. I do appreciate you AFKing here, even if you have to work. Those views always count. There's another mob with the same name. Nope. So the first event on all these mobs is the bomb I'm trying to check it for a cooldown. Well, no, firebomb is the first event. But burning tar is still... Hold on. I guess burning tar is still 10 seconds. 10.2. 10.9. 10.9. 10.9. I guess they cast Firebomb instantly on engage. So we can't really have a timer for that, but we can for burning tar. .2. They use Firebomb instantly. Alright. I know I just started, but I need to take a quick AFK to try to clear up my cough a little bit. I will be right back. I'll do a short ad. Hi, Missy. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. Ugh. Or okay. Hopefully that cough syrup kicks in quickly. I try not to use cough syrup when I'm not streaming because you're not actually supposed to suppress your cough if you want to get better. Then again, I'm not sure not suppressing it's working either, so. So we did Burning Tar. We're on the Iron Tempest. Oop, bad ID. And then... I don't know why I call him an Iron Tempest. He's literally an Iron Tide Raider. His ability is Savage Tempest. I just kind of combined the two into one word. But sure, Iron Tempest works. Started my stream so late today. Okay, that video is doing a little better. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's get this timer done. Okay. Melee, that's not the greatest start event. But I do see consistency. 11, 11, 11, 9.1, or 9.7, but I'm probably going to ignore that because these are more consistent, and I can always adjust it if it's too long. I can't adjust if it's too short. This one's massively delayed, but the mob could have been stunned for some reason or another and delayed his cast by a few seconds. And here we're seeing the same pattern. That's about 11. I'm gonna make the initial timer 11, and then I can correct it if it's wrong. Because DBM has debug code in it, to where if the timer refreshes before it expires, it makes a loud cash register ding, at least if it's in debug mode, and then it prints out the difference of how much it clipped. If the timer is too short, it won't detect that. So when it comes to this and debugging, I'm going to make the timers too long on purpose rather than too short. And then keep trimming from them until there's no longer issues. Next ability. Okay. I just changed it in the wrong place. Gotta be careful when I do that. I think I caught it. Here. And next ability I'm looking for is that one. Sing Steel. Let's make sure I put the cursor back in the right place so I don't keep making that mistake. Still right. Okay. Sing Steel, 3 seconds, 4.4 seconds. 1.9. 5.4. These are all very variable. 2 seconds. 1.2. It might be something they just used right away. But again, these tanks had most of these tanks were body pulling. I don't like that. Those Protroids are one of the most reliable for getting timers like this because they almost always pull with charge, heroic leap, or heroic throw. They don't body pull. They go in. I'm gonna check this. Where's the Prot Warrior log? I think it's this one, yeah. I'm gonna check you for timers. But I don't know if you... He's body pulling. Like, what the hell? What kind of Prot Warrior are you? You literally have 4 spells, so we don't have to body pull. Shield charge, charge, heroic leap, and heroic throw. And he's pulling with thunderclap. He pulled this with me. No, actually, he didn't pull this. Trash mob pulled him. The first event is the mob hitting him, not the other way around. Maybe I need to be looking at like 15s to find tanks that actually pull the mobs instead of get pulled by the mobs.
You are out of time.
Because these did not give me accurate timestamps. Raise the keystone level to 13. I'm even going to keep this log. I'm going to get it out of here. I'm going to keep this here just because it has... No, actually, you know what? I'm not going to keep that one either. This one's got 3 different runs. I'm going to keep it. I need to find some other logs. This one. No, you also body pull. Come on, peoples. Here's a 13. That was successfully cleared. Prop Paladin. Avenger Shield. That's something that would pull some from range. 5.1. 5.7. These are the same mobs. Here's another one. Number 3. Seeing Steel 3.4. Here's number 5. 4.4. These are more consistent because they're actually pulling with their abilities, not their body. I can pretty much count that Avengers Shield is the first thing that started combat. This gives me more reasonable data. This will be the log I can use for most of these ability timers. The minimum timer I've seen is 3.4. 3.4. I'm going to go with 3.5. That's more trustworthy. Okay, can use this log for remaining abilities. Heavy slash. Okay, heavy slash 6.4. What's your next Avenger Shield? Oh, there's only one pack of these. No, wait. Oh, these are... I think these are background mobs. Mobs that aren't always fighting the player. Or they just did one giant pull. They just fucking threw a shield here and just kept W keying into the next pack after next pack. That's the reason of double body pull. Guess I'm gonna have to actually check against more logs. Let's check the other logs. This one. The one that did 3 runs. .2. I think these have to be ignored. I mean, the rogue pulled it for Christ's sake. Who's running these keys? The first event is the mob attacking the rogue. 5.8. I'm gonna put 5.8 in and just see what happens. Hopefully this gets easier once my improved tooling gets put to use. People start logging with the new debug events. Sighted artillery. And each spotter is a different creature ID depending on which spotter it is. That's kind of annoying. This here. Or target name equals. I'll just go by name so I don't have to put all 3 IDs in. Ash Vein spotter. Oh wait, I gotta fix that. crap, I gotta use the ID, otherwise I have to change a bunch of the formula. Okay, I'll do it one ID at a time. Evasive. To gain evasive. Take his minute. Don't need to use ID. At least not in this manner. Or ability. ID equals that. And type equals apply buff. There we go. That shows me the engage time for these little buggers. Evasive, 44.4. This one gains evasive and starts casting at 4.7. Yeah, that's... Well, I think these gain it... Maybe they gain it on spawn. 43.4. That's fairly accurate compared to the... This one. Just not this one. This one's going to be a hard one to do. I won't be able to actually implement that one, like, at all. It won't be possible to have an initial timer. Because you don't really get to attack them and establish a good timestamp on any of them. The first timestamp's just going to be them gaining evasive. And that's clearly not working. Moving on to the next one. Ugh. Push that up there. Okay. Now let's start with Azurite Charge. I already did this one. This is the first one I did, right? These timers are already done. I was about to redo them. I was like... Then I remembered vaguely that I already did that. First one I did. So moving on. Sting and Venom coating. Okay. All right. I can't wait till all this is done. You can turn out the DBM bars, yes. I am curious though, what particular reason do you prefer the Bigwig's bars over the DBM bars? Because this helps me address, you know, why you might dislike it. I'm also curious why you prefer the DBM alerts over the Bigwigs ones. There's a reason you're running both mods. There's a setting for it? Because I mean, like, the Bigwigs bars, as far as I know, they were stubborn on this and refused to turn them off by default. Like, if you're using Little Wigs in dungeons, you get their nameplate bars whether you want them or not. They don't even let you turn them off like DBM does. Unless you're using like a weak R pack like the one made by Mirrors from Echo. He makes a weak R pack for nameplate timers. In which case you're not actually using Bigwigs, you're using weak Rs. But anyways, for DBM, the best way to do it is just to use the global disables. I'll show you some in game. You pretty much go into, there's one section. You go here, global filters and disables. Oh, I still have alerts. Oh, you know what? I need to fix that. I had alerts disabled because I was recording videos earlier. I have the Twitch drops thing off too. Oops. Sorry your alert got broken, but thanks for the follow. But yeah, to just go to disable DBM features. Anything you want to disable is right in here. Nameplate features will be right here. Timer is right above it. If you generally just don't want any bars from DBM at all, I would just do this. That way you get all the announced features are enabled, all the bar features are disabled, all the nameplate features are disabled. Down here is stuff like the icons, range frame, info frame, chat bubbles. Chat bubbles you probably want to leave on. Well, not necessarily. If you're running bigwigs too, I guess you can turn chat bubbles off too. So you're not getting 2 chat bubbles at a time. But DBM just makes it easy to disable things all in one place. But just go in there and turn off the stuff you don't use, and then you'll simplify DBM to what you do use. Now, the other question I asked you is the DBM alerts. You prefer those over the other mods. Is it because of DBM's voice packs? I know one thing I think DBM does better than other mods. Like, it's a biased opinion maybe, but like, I do think I present the audio in a better way. The voice packs are more toward the point. I think Bigwig says the ability name. I say the ability context. Like, they'll say, flaming bongos, and I'll just say frontal. Yeah, I try to be clear and concise with the audios because there's too many abilities and too many names, and nobody understands. Yeah, I've heard people say they actually prefer the ability names as opposed to being directive like DBM is. But like, the people who tend to prefer the ability names tend to be a very low minority, like usually some of the top-end players who just know all the ability names. Like, every mechanic is memorized, so they just prefer to just hear the mechanic. But the average user, they tend to do better with directions instead. They don't care what the ability is called, they just want to know what the ability does. That brings up an interesting debate, though, is DBM was doing that with audio alerts first, but then Bigwig started doing that with timers first. They started renaming their timers to say frontal or soaks and stuff. And then we did the same thing, and they got mad, like really mad about it. They're like, oh, you're copying us again. It's like, bro, yeah, you did that first, but we actually technically had the idea first. You just implemented it somewhere else. And we realized we were falling short there and had to do the same thing. That argument is always tiring anyway, because if you go back to the full history of DBM and Bigwigs, there's something DBM has always done first, and there's something Bigwigs has always done first, and it has always gone back and forth. DBM had an info frame 3 years before Bigwigs did. DBM had respawn timers months before Bigwigs did, and there was many other examples of that. But they had countdowns before we did. They had other things before we did. At one point, I made a list. I was going to make a video about it because I was mad at Funky one day. I was like, "Do you really want to play this game?" And saying, we copy all your shit. Okay, I'll show the timestamp right down to the damn timestamps. But then I was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna go that far. But the TLDR is we both create good ideas, and we both innovate good shit. And then oftentimes, whatever one person does, the other does after. But it has gone both ways, and it has always gone both ways since the beginning of WoW. And that's the same with any competitive scene. If McDonald's released a magical burger that was 0 calories and was good for you and healthy, but tastes just as good as their most fattening burgers, Burger King would be trying to figure out how the hell to do that shit and do it too. In fact, one of my strongest arguments, there was actually proposed more than once. You know, he's not accusing me of stealing. He's said we should team up and just make one boss mod. And one of the main reasons I said I don't want to do that is because 2 boss mods push innovation. We push each other. If we were the only kid in town, we'd get lax. And I firmly believe that. As another example, what I'm doing now, they literally beat me to it, but it was an idea I wanted to do before they beat me to it. But what happened is, because they beat me to it, I had to speed up my timetable. Because I was busy with other things. I had the initial nameplate timers. I had trash nameplate timers in the first season of Dragonflight. They only introduced it in the first season of War Within. But then they went one step beyond and came up with a way to come up with initial timers, which is something I didn't do. I only had timers for the recasts. And that's how they launched too. They launched and matched me. Then they iterated one step further, forcing me to up my hand and do the same thing sooner. It's something I actually always planned to do, but I had to speed it up. And I think I actually implemented it in a more creative way because I already had the tech was already half written for the Apex timers that DBM has. So I implemented it a different way than they did. It allows me to also plug it into Mythic Plus Apex timers. And other features beyond just nameplate timers. Which is good because it makes it easy to do more combat detection for trash in the future. I can actually show you what I did. I thought it was pretty creative. Well, the problem with damage events is there are hot. That means you'd have to watch damage events at all times. That's not performance optimized. You'd literally be just parsing the combat log at all times for those events, and that's just really bad. Another idea I had that I looked at but actually scrapped was unit health. I was going to look for any unit health changes for any enemy-based units to detect combat with trash. Because obviously trash doesn't fire like encounter start, encounter end like a raid boss does. But then I thought parsing unit health for every mob, like literally in the game, would also be wasteful. Well, the problem is, especially with Mythic Plus, is you chain pull. You could go from one mob pack to the next and next and next without ever leaving combat. So you can't use flags like leaving combat to unregister events or things like that. So let me show you what I came up with to solve this problem. And I'll tell you what they did too, because I was curious and looked after I did mine. And I felt the way I did it was a little better. But basically what I do For one, I only register the events in a relevant zone. That's just a given. But I specifically register these events: unit flags, challenge mode death count, and player regen enabled and disabled. But the most important one is unit flags. Anytime any party member enters or leaves combat, it fires this event to tell you the bit flag changed from not in combat to in combat for the party unit. Which means, when this event fires, I know someone on your team has entered combat. And when the event fires, it schedules a scan to check for combat. And only then does it check for combat. It doesn't check it repeatedly, it just checks it on combat when these events fire. But they have backup events because unit flags is a limited range. If, say, one of your people are running back, or maybe the tank just runs ahead or something, I found that, like in my testing, that unit flags does not fire for players that are far away from you. And that's when I added these this backup event here. Is, for example, if somebody dies, then maybe your group's wiping and you should scan for combat again. The death counter changed. And obviously these only fire if you the player, enter or leave combat. That's why these alone are not good enough. Because these do not fire, again, if you're far away from the person entering combat. It's possible that you could be the healer drinking, the tank pulls, and they're in combat, and you, the healer, are not in combat. That's why this event alone would fail. Unit flags does the majority of it. These are just backups. So first it starts scanning for combat. But then it also has secondary events. I have two event handlers. One for entering zone combat and one for starting nameplates. This is used for like Mythic Plus affixes. Because a lot of the affixes pause or resume based on your combat status. So let's say your group leaves combat. This event fires a callback so that the affix mod knows to pause the affix timer. And unpause it on this event. Then this event, which you see here, it fires this callback, or not callback, but it checks if this function exists and if it's registered in a mod, like here, start nameplate timers. This would start it for the initial timers for entering combat based on creature ID. Now, this is the actual scanner for scanning whether the units, if it's the unit you want. This only runs if it's required to start nameplate timers. So basically, you entered combat. It checks if this exists. If it does, it runs this, which scans all nearby player targets and all nearby nameplates if they're the desired target, and if they are, it passes on with GUID and creature ID, so it can run this. But another approach I said to do it was either unit health, spammy combat log events, which both would be worse than performance, and the last way is to just continuously scan, basically do this non-stop. This never disables, it just does this non-stop because you don't perform these checks at all. This is basically what Bigwigs does. They do this the entire time you're in the dungeon. They don't actually start or stop it based on combat state. So theirs is actually less performant than DBM's. At least in that regard. Well, these check, it's going to ignore events if they're not in combat with you. One that checks in here is, unit affecting combat. This means that the casting unit is actually in combat with the player. Because otherwise you pick up all that crap from, Miss Eterna Scythe or grim patrol of mobs fighting in the background that are fighting each other and not the player. I'm gonna move before I get disconnected. Okay, back to here. I don't need this open. What timer did I just finish off on? Let's look at the log. That's right, I was starting this, but I didn't actually pull a timer yet. 3.7. Avenger shield pull, so it should be somewhat reliable. This one's much faster though. This one's cast like 1.1 seconds later when you add the 2 timestamps together. So they might use that immediately on the pull. Let's check this log. Sometimes some abilities are just used instantly on the pull. Or not, because maybe you pull a different way. It's not every pull timer can be used. Let's check this log. I'm still not finding anything conclusive that looks like a static timer. Oops. That'd be nice if that was consistent. 6 seconds there. But the next mob uses it like 3 seconds later. That one's 6 again. That's 3.3. That's 2. I think they used this basically right away. This dungeon has a lot of that. Used near instantly. No time, no initial timer for that. Just a recast timer, which is 15, I think. Ash Vein Destroyer's next. Let's go back to the Paladin. I like starting here. Because he pulls with Avenger Shield. Ferocity.